I'm about to speak to Gord Ray, the brand development lead for Instagram. And I know you must be as excited as I am because Instagram is at the epicenter of so many of our businesses. It is certainly what I built Holly & Co on. And I know that so many of you use Instagram as your daily marketing for your businesses. So I've collated all the questions, countless questions, and I'm going to put these to Gord, who is absolutely looking forward to so much supporting this community and talking to us more about the developments that Instagram have made, certainly during this pandemic, to support us. And I, for one, cannot wait. I will have the notebook at the ready to be taking down all of his tips. Enjoy. Gord, thank you so much for joining us. How can I just ask, before we get into business, how have you found it this period of time, and how's Instagram found it?
Well, it has been anything but business as usual, not only just for the Instagram community of 1 billion people, but just all of us, of course, who are working at Instagram. And I've been home for, like the rest of us, for over 3 months now. And I think we're fortunate that we do have that ability to be able to continue to operate by being at home. But of course, immediately our focus months ago went on about the community and how can we help with the Instagram community at this time. So a lot of effort, and I know that was probably some of the questions people are going to ask about what could we and what did we do and what are we doing for small businesses during this time. But yeah, it's been, I have to say, like everyone, I'm sure when you start the conversation with everyone's got their own situation. Like I'm here kind of in the living room. I'm impressed with your wonderful setup for all of your IGTV live because everything looks so professional, and I'm very, very impressed. So
well, thank
mine's
you.
Mine's a little hacky here.
And, oh my goodness, those early days, I'd never done an IGTV before, and so that first day you do it, and so many people, Gord, this is like, and I'm sure you've seen from the volume of people. I mean, God, I would love to know the statistics, but those early days, it just felt unreal how many people were doing this for the first time.
Yes, I mean, that is a great point, because we were amazed ourselves. So within March, in the period of March and April, the amount of lives that were taking place on Instagram doubled. There were some numbers around combining both Facebook and Instagram around live was 800 million daily active users of live. Like it's these numbers that are just unprecedented.
You know, so there must have been an enormous amount of pressure that, you know, almost everything must have stopped to meet the volume.
We had to move quite quickly. So some of those things was we looked at that ability of many people wanted to support small businesses. So we launched the ability to have gift cards and how that works as a business if they're working with one of our gift cards, or not our gift cards partners, but the gift card partners that are available in various countries around the world. You have that ability to add it to your profile, and you have the ability to add it to stickers, a sticker that you can add in your stories. And it meant that if I was following a small business, I'd be able to support you by buying a gift card, maybe for something at a future date. One of my favorite initiatives was the support small business sticker. So that is what we as regular people can all
Brilliant.
use. It is brilliant. I use it all the time. I think that all of these types of things, just one piece of advice for anybody watching, if you're wondering, like, how do I know, is this coming, and when do I find out about it? This is all summarized in an account called Instagram for Business, so at Instagram for Business. And when these things happen, we often communicate it there so you can see it if you're following that account and find out. And wonderful. I'm glad you like the support small business sticker too, because
jokingly, I mean, I did a whole post on it and everything and celebrated it, because this is what I would say is that Instagram and Facebook have been so reactive to this movement. But tell me also about, so we had the stickers and things, but then we also had Facebook shops as well. And this has been just phenomenal, certainly as a woman from retail for the last 20 years and watching things grow and having a marketplace and all these things. It's been an amazing thing to watch, and I've been absolutely advocating that we never knew how long this was going to go on for. So 100%, this is going to be our time. Actually, small is the new big, and this is the moment for all these guys to shine. So you obviously read that. This was obviously in the pipeline before. Was it all brought forward as a priority?
Well, the idea of it all came together with this idea about how can we support businesses during this time. And obviously the idea of focusing on the commerce side of the business world was something that has been going on for a while. We've had Instagram shopping, the ability to tag a product in feed or in stories for quite a while now in the UK. But what the shops launch allowed us to do, where there were two real asset or parts to it. One was bringing value to businesses to make the ability to, if you have a collection of goods and a way of almost customizing the type of content that you would show, and on both Instagram and Facebook, and making a system, I know it sounds very techy, but a kind of back-end system called Commerce Manager that makes it very easy to do. Whether you're a big business or a small business, you can upload your products in this catalog system, you can organize them, we'll have the ability to customize different aspects of your shop. So that was for businesses. And then for people, we were learning the shopping tags that we've had for quite a while. We were learning there was so much more we could do with that to make it more valuable for the Instagram community. You know, just the ability to organize product assortments into categories. It seems quite straightforward, but technically the ability to allow it for hundreds of millions is a very different type of a process. So yes, we did actually move quite quickly. And of course, now it's rolling out. Not everyone has access to it yet, but it has started to roll out here in the UK. And you can start to see businesses that have got access start to customize their shops.
And are there any, so when you say these features that are coming out, I think that so many people, and I don't know, you're obviously in this world. I think small businesses sometimes just feel, are they the most up to date with what they can do? And so what you're saying is it's the @Instagram business. Am I right in saying?
@Instagram for business. And
@Instagram for business. And that is where you will update anything that's coming out or that you're launching so that people can keep on top of it, basically.
Yes, and keep on top of it, and then understand about what is almost. It's not only just news and announcements. It also has different types of features and some guides sometimes around how to get the best out of X, Y, or Z. There's a lot of different content that appears on that account, and also the @Instagram account will also, which is another major account that's run by my colleagues. And then, not to kind of give you a huge laundry list, but there's another one called Curated, FB Curated. And that is an account that is almost focused on best practices for both the community and businesses. Like, for example, they did a feature on like how to do the great Instagram Live. What are some top stories we've seen from around the world? And it puts it all together, and that's FB Curated. And although it's called FB Curated, it's all about Instagram, and it's an amazing account.
Fantastic. Now, I've got so many questions, but I just wanted to touch also on the last few months. So not only have been dealing with the pandemic, but Black Lives Matter. And, the last 2 weeks, the most powerful role that Instagram always plays such a powerful role, doesn't it, in all the things that are going on around the world and supporting social movements. What have you seen from your side? Because I can imagine you're very proud of this platform that allows people to share.
Yes, and you're right. The last 2 weeks have been difficult for so many people around the world, and Instagram is the first to say we stand against racism, we support Black Lives Matter, we support the Black community, and there were many different initiatives that took place at the company of Instagram and Facebook, and also on the platform. If you think about why do people even come to Instagram, they're coming to connect over areas of interest that they have. And this area was something that is a very, very important topic for so many people around the world. And I like to think of it as, it's almost like what's going on corporately, what's happening almost like from a community standpoint, and then personally, we were all impacted personally in very different ways about what's been going on. So corporately, the @Instagram account, like going back to that, if you look at what was posted there, there's so many wonderful resources that were posted on @Instagram. One of my favorite was Share Black Stories, and it allowed the community to share personal experiences that they had, and allowed allies to learn more. One of my favorite was Share the Mic Now, which is allowing a whole Instagram account, but also a hashtag allowing high-profile people who have a huge voice to share that voice with the Black community and women from the Black community. And even looking at an account like Selena Gomez. I mean, Selena Gomez has I think she has over 180 million followers. If you think of the reach and that she has as her voice, and she gave up her account to many people from the Black community to share their stories. And so seeing all that from a community standpoint, and then I have to say just personally, many of us who are allies thought we knew more than we probably did know. And just that ability to listen and learn, and the amount of resources I personally found on Instagram has been unprecedented. And of course, like you were saying, there is so much more that Instagram can do, the community can do, and we can all do personally. Thank you for bringing that up, though. I think it's such an important.
Yeah, no, I wanted to, because I think this is the whole point. We have to talk about it. We have to, I too have learned so much and found Instagram to be amazing in being a resource to, for me, find amazing Black women who have had an entrepreneurial journey that I haven't been able to find before. And actually everyone has clubbed together, created amazing directories, and this just hadn't happened. And I'm so thankful to Instagram for, it's our go-to place, isn't it? Now, Gord, we've got a few questions here. From the Little BW book project, I'd be interested to know about allowing small businesses to get verified, the blue tick to say that they are legit and original. I feel like that would build trust even without 10,000 followers. There's so much pressure on getting to 10K, but us little folks would benefit from that trusted mark so much.
Yes, the verification tick is a constant question. I mean, I've been on Instagram now for more than 5 years, and I do get asked that every week from people I know, people I don't know. And I think what's happened is that blue tech has morphed into something as a kind of badge versus what it's intended for. What it really is intended for is for high profile or celebrities who have the risk of being impersonated, for brands that have trademark infringement issues, there's ability to make sure that the brand that has got the trademark had the ability to have the blue tick to indicate. But there's many ways, even if you do not have the tick. Two things. One is you can always apply for it. It's in the app. You press settings, and then you can go and say apply for verification. Then in your own profile, you can indicate, which we do know is an important part of just who are you and what are you about. And that is what really matters to people. There's no evidence that kind of indicates, oh, well, if you have the tick, you're therefore considered to be somehow better than someone who does not. I know it's emotional and we all feel it. And there's sometimes feelings that it does probably carry more weight than it really does. But I would say even without it, there's many things you can still be doing on the platform.
From Lisa Ann Fern, as a founder of a small business, sole trader, that's just her, which has recently grown and moved to new premises, now an LTD company, I have a dilemma. Do I push my personal lifestyle on my business account, which has about 2,200-ish followers, or my new business account that has 1,900 followers, or do I keep both? And how true is a brand should IG posts and stories be? I.e., I see what she's saying, this sort of personal relevance. Yeah, and I talk about this and I do it. My account is at Holly Tucker and we have Holly & Co. But it's what's your point of view on this? That sort of personal aspect, do you have two accounts? What have you seen anything that you could share that could help the community? Because this is quite an often question, that you start as a personal account and then actually you think, oh gosh, maybe I should not have my dog's, birthday on my business account.
Yes, and it's a great question and a constant dilemma, I think, for people that are starting out and trying to weigh up how much their personal life will intermix with their business. It's something that we see though at all levels, even major global brands who may have a designer at the helm, and do they have a personal account that gets followed, or is it the global brand that they're at the head of? So it's not something that is different by small businesses. I think it's a couple of things to think about. One is just think of the resources that you personally have. Having two accounts is a lot of work potentially to kind of be balancing and posting one versus the other. I think also think very carefully about what is it that your audience wants to see. Maybe the audience of your small business love knowing about you personally. Maybe that is what really is driving them to follow you. It's the story behind the actual business, and you're able to provide that through your own personal posts. It comes back to some of the other principles of just running an account on Instagram, which is really thinking about your audience. What is it that you want to have an account for, and what is it the audience wants to see? Second thing is experiment, and try things out. If you're a business that is shopping, making sure you're using the shopping tags, looking at both video and images. We often talk to businesses about posting both. They're like, I don't know if I should have video or images, and videos don't get likes. There's nothing wrong with posting both. And then you'll learn. And you could do, I know many fashion brands will do that now. They'll take a picture of a moving model maybe behind the scenes. Maybe the real, like, fully retouched picture is also in motion, and they will also have a static image. And there's nothing wrong with that. They post both, that's fine. And they will then learn.
And I would just add to that, from my personal experience, you know, I have Holly Tucker, and that is where I have my account and the melody, and we all, you know, this week it's all about shopping independent, and last week was about Black Lives Matter, and we'll have different melodies within our Instagram. But we also have holly.co, which is actually a bit more detail about things. What we felt is that you can have one account that maybe is the highlights, and then another account for business, which could maybe go more in depth. So we will have more about our podcast guests, more about our shop, more about our events. Otherwise, we would probably be posting 10 times a day. And so I think it is, isn't it? It's what fits for you. But certainly I agree, it's that personal element. Certainly as a small business, remember that is your USP. You know, huge brands can't talk about their dog's birthday. If you have a great staff, you know, this is what people want to see, the people behind brands. Tell me, we've got Lucy Joy Artist. It's so great. Instagram supports small businesses so much. What is the thing that they like? What is the thing they would like us as small businesses to focus on? What sort of posts are you looking for small businesses to be sharing? And are there any types of behaviors Instagram prefers? And actually, I just add to that, you know, people talk about, I just said we'd be posting 10 times a day. Do you want people posting 10 times a day? Like, I think people are looking for that little bit of guidance of how, I think Lucy's saying, how can I be best in class and get a gold star?
Yeah, it's quite a common question of like, how much should I post? Is like, what's the right amount? And what's fascinating with that question is it depends on so many things. One is just what you're actually capable of being able to keep up. There's no data that shows that that you can sort of over post to your followers, because the algorithm will determine that idea. If you're posting too much and someone is feeling that they're getting too much, it will not share as much with that person. But there's some people that love their brand, a particular brand, and they just want more. It is very important to remember that people are following a lot of accounts now. They are following and coming to Instagram because it's a place where they can interact with the things and the people that they love, and that's often many things. So posting a lot allows more people. You're like this one little drop of rain in potentially an ocean. So having more drops in has a better chance of being seen. Also, drops in more places, like stories, IGTV, live, because some people will only look at IGTV for a couple of days in a row because they just want video, longer form video. So making sure you're showing up in different places. And also, you know, using hashtags. I think it's important. Sometimes people are like, are they important or not? We do often say no more than 3, because there's just a psychological impact that when you start to use more, there starts to become a bit of are you putting too many for reasons that are not relevant to your post? But the hashtags will help. Many people that follow hashtags, many people search for hashtags. Yeah. So that's another just important thing about how to make sure you're posting well. Another tip is tag people. Very important to like if you're featuring people in your post, tag them, because the ability of tagging means that has the ability to show up in more places. It may be featured in Explore by certain people that are following that other person tagged. So the tagging people, the using a couple of hashtags, posting as much as you're comfortable with across images and video, like I said before, try to do both, is a way of just kind of doing Instagram well. And then experiment, and try things out.
In business, in anything, there is no silver bullet. You know, unfortunately, we all search for it, don't we? We all search for you just telling us, what is the answer, please, God? Yeah. Just tell me, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing is, the other thing was, I think, to Lucy's question, and you mentioned it, the algorithm. Can you just explain it to our small business community, and is there anything that they can do, not to trick it, but to work with it?
Yes, that is the mystery of, I think, what's happened with that term algorithm that started years ago when the world with social media, like how do you show up higher up in the algorithm? It's something, again, it's very emotional. We want to find the answer. If I do this, I'll get bumped up. So the algorithm is a very complex series of code that's been written over years. And I think if we go back to why people are on Instagram, they're there because they want to connect to things and interests that they have, and friends and family and people that they love. And that is why people are there. So what the algorithm is doing is, what is it that it feels is going to matter to you most? That's why things like your family, in my case, my mom, who's in her late 70s, is on Instagram, and I will often, she doesn't post that often, but when she does, I'll often see it, because I will comment, I will look at it, I will watch her videos, and it will learn that I really care about that particular person, just like particular brands that I will spend more time on and read the whole post and engage with it. And it starts to learn these types of behavior. So there's no way of tricking the algorithm. It goes all the way back to those points I already made before, is that putting more content that is relevant to your business out, trying different things and mixing it up and seeing what works with your community, knowing what it is that you want to be saying about your business to your community. And those taggings I mentioned is important, because the algorithm can find a way of using things like the hashtags and the tagging to help. Another myth we've heard is, do we downrank, well, one common one I get is, because videos maybe don't get as many likes, do we downrank them over images?
Yes.
Absolutely not. It's based on that point I meant before. Some people like videos, some people like images, and it will resort itself out. But there's things like that I just hope people can feel comfortable. They're not probably doing anything wrong. It's just about learning from what they're doing to improve their experience.
God, this is so helpful. Can I just say, a lot of people, there's a lot of comments that are about people struggling with the product tagging feature, or being declined, or having technical issues. Are you able to provide any more information, or where people could go to find out more about it?
So there is on the Help Center of Instagram on the website, there is a explanation of just how to get started in shopping. How do you set up a catalog? What are the shopping policies? Sometimes people get caught up in this. Is something against the Instagram shopping policy. So for example, services are not available. It's for people selling physical goods. And so making sure you're reviewing the policies, and then some of those how-to. And that is available on the Instagram Help Center, which you can go onto the website and get more detailed and get a lot more just screenshots of how to kind of get going.
And finally from me, just overall tips. I wanted to ask you, for instance, I know that video is going to become massively important in our society. It's all about voice, it's all about video. And so I wanted to ask you if potentially one of your tips is that, I've been saying, if I can do it, everyone can do it. And that you've got to break that barrier of vulnerability and just try it out, because actually the future, I think Cisco did a research that something like 80% of all searches on the internet or something by 2022 will be video. And if you're not in it, you can't win it. So I just wanted to ask you, A, about video, and B, are there anything, couple of tips for the small business community?
Yes, the important, like you did highlight something that has been fast growing, and it's not even just on Instagram, but the idea of watching video and longer form video on our phones is something that is still continuing on a very high trajectory. And video, I think if you have not tried it, it's very easy to test going live. Like live is literally, as you know, couple buttons, you swipe over, press live, counts down, boom, you're live. You can stop it at any time. Nobody will, it's not going to necessarily be some kind of thing that will overshadow your entire brand for the future. Thinking about what is it that you want to be doing, and then thinking of it how you can do that through stories. Or if you're worried about live, try something and posting in an IGTV and see what happens. What are the comments you get? Even asking people. We know that in stories, we have that question sticker. The reason we did the question sticker, it's one of the most used stickers, is because it allows people and businesses just to kind of put a question up there like, what do you want to know? And then people will respond. Remembering that when you're trying things out is very, very just important mindset to kind of constantly go back in. Is just remembering, okay, have I posted across different of the platforms over the last couple of weeks? Can I learn anything from the last post? Did certain get more likes or comments? Why was it that this post did better? Just going through and reminding yourself regularly, because it's something, it's like a muscle. We've got to remember to do it regularly, or we fall into a habit. And so those are things I would just throw out as a kind of things to think about going forward.
Oh, God, honestly, I can't tell you, everyone has found you fascinating, so useful. I think the small business community, they just, they want to, they're the small guys and girls, and they want to do what's right for their businesses, and so much rests on their shoulder to do right. So being able to talk to you and actually have it from you has meant a lot to them, and I know they really, really appreciate it. And thank you from me. It's been such a pleasure. I've enjoyed all of my IGTV journey the last 80 days, and I will continue. But bless you for joining us. Thank you, Gord.
Thank you very much, Holly, for having me. It's been real fun. Thank you very much.
Take care. Thank you. Bye. Bye. A nice guy. He was. It wasn't he. So let's summarize as we always do. IG Lives doubled in a matter of weeks. 800 million daily active users of live broadcasts between Facebook and Instagram. I mean, can you even get your head around that number? The future of video, just give it a go and just record something on, and you could just take it down, but you've got to try and work that muscle. Instagram have been supporting small businesses around the world. They launched their gift card partners. Add to your profile and add that sticker. Supporting small business sticker is Gord's favorite launch across the world. Accounts to go for support. This is a really important one. At Instagram for Business. All communication on coming launches from Instagram and things they have launched will be there. At Facebook Curated, so FB Curated, focuses on best practices. And what we've got is go to Instagram Help Center for lots of screenshots to help you if you get stuck. And I know a few of you have spoken about shopping. Do go and have a look at that. Go and look at the rules. Go and look at all those things. Blue ticks, do not get hung up on the blue ticks. Your bio is as important as the blue tick. And the blue tick was really there to stop celebrities and people like that getting ripped off. Use live, use shopping tags, use video, use images. Some people like images, some people like video. If you're not doing one or the other, or doing both, sorry, you're missing out on that group of people. So have you tried everything that Facebook has? Top tips, you can't overpost. Basically, if people are feeling like you're overposting, they potentially won't even see your posts. And if people blinking love you overposting, when I say overposting, there is not too many posts, but you know what I mean? They love it. They're absorbing it. Use 3 hashtags only. It's still important to use hashtags. Tag people so that they know more. So if you're doing a post, you can tag people into your post. If you're commenting back, you can tag people into your comments. The whole thing is about learning from your community about what they like. I don't know about you, I absolutely found that completely and utterly fascinating. And what a nice guy he was as well. I just wanted to say that from me, because funny enough, I engage with Instagram, I don't know, 15 hours a day. It's the first thing I do when I open my eyes, and it's the last thing I do when I shut my eyes, like all of you. And I know my son's just heard that, and I tell him about not doing that. But anyway, lots of love to you all. Thank you, NatWest. Thank you, Dell. Thank you, Three. Thank you, Royal Mail, for always supporting us and enlightening us with these brilliant people such as Gord. Lots of love to you all.